Do you remember the devastation caused by erosion and flood during 2024? I'm sure that is still very glaring and very fresh in our minds. So many people lost their lives and so many families were displaced. Some farmlands were also destroyed by devastating flood. So, how much was actually budgeted for erosion and flood control in 2024, and how much did the government spend from that budgetary allocation? These are some of the issues we will be interrogating as we start engaging our guest on the show today from an expert's point of view. What does he think should be done going forward to address issues of flood and erosion control? Because very soon the rains will start pouring again for 2025. Our guest is Vice Marshal Akugbe Iyamu, an environmentalist par excellence. He will be telling us what he thinks from the expert point of view. Hear him. All right, a pleasure to have you join us again on Environment today. And we're speaking with Air Vice Marshal Iyamu Akugbe, retired. Of course, I call him the climate change expert and environmental encyclopedia. Always really with figures regarding environmental issues. It's a pleasure to have you again on the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your kind words. Yes.
So let's begin with President Trump's stance on environmental issues, particularly climate change. From an environmental expert point of view, let me even hear your reaction to his executive order review us yet again, from Global Treaty of Climate Change.
Yes, thank you for having me. Well, the executive order is an extension of the capitalists. They're trying to overwhelm everybody, so that we all be in chaos, so that they can do what they want to do. What is that executive order? First of all, the main trust. What's the trust you want to do? The trust is that, first of all, he wants to protect the polluters. Not to protect the polluters, then discredit the science about the whole thing and put vulnerable communities in problem. Well, for him, for President Donald Trump, it's a Republican thing. It's a Republican. They go back in history. You see that the Democrats have always been for the very, very poor people. 1933, the New Deal by Roosevelt. Coming back again to 1961, which is the you said that everybody is quarreling about. They don't really know what you said is all about. See, the problem with Nigeria is that we are so gullible. And when we see a trajectory that takes off from our major problem, everybody latch onto it. You understand? The world is moving with a very fast train, and we are holding on to old coaches. You understand? So the usage is all for another day. They're coming back. The first renewable energy installed in the White House was done by Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter in 1979. When Ronald Reagan came in 1986, he removed them. And again, to Trump in 2017 came. What does he want to do? He wants to, the Paris Agreement is a legal binding document that makes sure that you must do what you must, first of all, be involved in climate financing. You must be involved in the reduction of carbon and a whole lot of things. Why? The question you will not ask is that why is he in a hurry? The biggest polluter, which is China, they have more recent dates than him that they were supposed to meet. Do you understand? So my concern today is climate change the Paris Agreement have come to stay. Climate fighting have a very, very strong history, starting from 1824. 1824, when the people first came out and said, look, there must be something in the atmosphere that is changing the temperature on the ground, and while the thing is coming up. Then the first paper on climate change came in 1896 by a Scottish, Swedish scientist. So it came back to 1970 when you have models. Computer models were first of all being done on it, and going back to 1972 where you have the first summit, the Human Rights Summit. So When you are coming, you come back to 1992 Air Summit and all, then you Kyoto Protocol and down, and then the biggest one, the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement was not a document that people came to for convenience. No, it came because we have to regenerate the earth into the next century. And that is whether one man is going to be for it or not. It's not going to do anything. The people that did not sign at that time, well, only 4 countries. Out of them, it's only Iran that were really big polluters. So whether one person is out of it or not, no, he has done a lot for countries. He has scaled up the renewable energy significantly and substantially. You know, renewable energy is so intertwined with poverty alleviation. Take, for example, the IRA in the USA, Inflation Reduction Act, which President Biden put into place. It was supposed to create renewable energy and also make sure that the poor are also affected. When he came, it's not only the Paris Agreement that he signed, he also blocked the 7 billion renewable energy fund. The contractors cannot access it and everything. So if you go back to history, you find out that it's more of a Republican thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes.
Okay, well, you see, the problem now is that everybody knows that US is the second biggest polluter in the world. And when it comes to climate financing, they've also been one of the biggest contributors, to global finance to be able to help, particularly those in developing countries, deal with climate issues. So this withdrawal, are you saying it will not have any impact, on...
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You see, what he has done now is to say that, look, the people that were depending on all these things before, now you are now on your own. How is he going to do it when he has two of the biggest problems? As he's landing in, he had the biggest fire. The wildfire. And also the biggest flooding now, which is in the southern part of America. So how do you explain that? You see, they didn't allow it echo like the first time in 2017 when he said he was withdrawing. Everybody was running. Like I said before, it's the capitalists. The capitalists want to overwhelm us and set us into chaos. We have people like ExxonMobil making 33.1 billion and Chevron 18.3 billion profits. So you have to keep protecting those. Like I said before, the Paris Agreement is a legal document. So if he is in it, he has to abide by adaptation, mitigation, and climate financing. The climate financing, the Chinese are even doing more. They have a more recent date that they want to meet whatever they do. And if you look at China, the US, and the EU is one of the 10 biggest for that. They've taken up that space. So it is not really going to affect. What is important is that, you see, the Earth Summit that gave way to the UNFCCC identified this, that look, we have a problem. We have a problem of temperature. Now, what is happening now? We are raising to 3 degrees. And that 3 degrees is going to cause a whole lot of problems. And some of the consequences of the 3 degrees is that we have 50% chances of having wildfire before the end of the century. And this 50% chance depends on rising sea, which brings the breeze. The breeze now to fuel the burning of the forest. Then you have the temperature. Temperature will dry the leaves and contributes to most of these things. So if you have 3 degrees, and you are going to have more of these things. And again, you have invasive animals. Now, when there is temperature, you have more invasive animals that is eating the leaves and putting it down on there. So he has more problem. In looking at it, I think he just wants to satisfy the bulk polluters, to call them, yes.
So let's come home now to Nigeria. We got this report which says that Nigerian government spent only 8.6 billion naira out of 167 billion naira allocation for erosion and flood control in 2024. And this online media that reported this quoted an expenditure which was categorized under State House headquarters and it says that a review of that data, which is on the Open Treasury portal, shows that this figure is actually spent, which is very low, despite all the issues that happened around flood and erosion in 2024. As an expert on this field who has been following developments, well, how would you react to this report?
First of all, see, the source is as important as the information or the news. Honestly, I have never heard of this information. I'm just hearing it for the first time now. And see, try to look at other areas to see the confirmation and everything. Granted that last year, release of funds were very constrained. Very constrained. So, but then this is a very wide gap. Say you do that and everything, environmental challenge is not what you say. Let's wait till tomorrow. So you cannot have this kind of funds that is so the discrepancies is so wide, and it will not reflect on the environmental. So I don't have real information on this one on these discrepancies of the figure. Yes.
All right, so the rains will soon be here. We're already in February, but even though the prediction said there'll be late onset of rain. So what do you think, or what do you suggest again, as always, as what the government should be doing now to avert a repeat of the flooding disaster we had, in the past years, including just last year?
Anytime you ask me this question, you just remind me of what we are as a people. If you look at the documents of the government, we have one of the best documents. Have you seen the Climate Change Act? Climate Change Act, one of the best documents that you can ever find. It can subsist anywhere in the world. But anytime in Nigeria we create documents, but the mistake is that we don't always create people that will actualize these documents. We take this document to primordial sentiments, to religion, to ethnicity, and everything. At the end of the day, the whole document is disfigured. It is disfigured. The rains are coming. Yes, early in the year, I warned, and I'm still warning now that we are going to have rain and droughts coming together because the El Nina was here. It was here from December, and it's about going now. It's going to leave by February. What is it going to do? It's going to create a lot of sunshine around here. You're already seeing it now. So in Abuja, the sun that is supposed to shine for about 1 month, shining in a day. So also the rain that will fall in 6 months will fall in a day. So the preparation has to be much. But my worry is that you look at this year's budget. What's 54.9999? What's there for disaster? No. Every time you see, we have to prepare. It is not when the thing is on us that we continue to run hectare-scatter. I didn't see any line item that substantially prepare for the disaster that we're coming to do. See, preparation for disaster is now part of country's central bank. Say greening the economy. Because when it comes and you are unprepared for it, it disfigures the whole thing, the whole entire system, the whole entire process. See, government is a process and accountability. You see, if you look at what we are doing now, National Orientation Agency, they have been coming out with a lot of sound bites. It is not on when we get to the flooding stage that they start talking. No, they should be talking now, clearing the floodway. In Abuja now, we are building on the wetland, we are building on the floodplain, we are building on everywhere. Anywhere there is land, they just allocate it and people will go and build there. When they go to Guzape and go and see the way they are building there, I see the disaster that other people are having, we pray. But prayer is not enough. You have to work. If we have flooding, massive flooding in Nigeria, I'm wondering what will happen to Guzape. Because all the hills, all their bases have been destabilized. Hill is a stable object. It remains there from vibration and everything. It stays there. But by the time you destabilize it, with excessive water, it's going to give way. So our preparation is not enough. And the Minister of Environment, the Minister of Water Resources, and all should be on by now and telling us it is before the rain will start now, maybe in April, May, or thereabout. But now, the Ministry of Water Resources, what are you doing with the water? What are you doing with all the rivers that are here? What are you doing? The 304 dams around, what are we doing in it? Are we going to wait for another dam compromise again before we now start telling what we are going to do? Let's take disaster management out of politics and really put it in the hand of experts. That's what is lacking.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Yes.